Cougar basketball in full swing for the Columbia College Cougars. Number 7 in the latest top 25 poll in the AMC Conference now at 7-1 after the loss at Freed-Hardman on the road. Some home cooking against Benedictine Springfield coming to town, and then a couple more road games. It's going to be a busy February. The month of January pretty light here, at least in Columbia on campus here as far as basketball, but February is the polar opposite of that. There's games every weekend, it seems like, except for one, I think, in February.
Well, it's an interesting the way the schedule came about this year, Cosmo, in that we got a lot of road games out of the way early, and while students were on break. And there was a lot of positives to that. At first, I was not real happy about it because you'd like to play some home games early in your conference schedule. But we got a lot of travel, a lot of heavy travel out of the way while we didn't have to take students out of school. And now the students are back. They're going to be able to see our teams play a lot in February, and we're excited about that. And as we already talked about, that's such a critical part of the season. So, right now you get into a swing, and from here on out, you're into a kind of a groove, into a pattern until the end of the season.
And some of those, and Mike Davis, I know we talked about this last week with him, he mentioned the same thing as far as getting a lot of that travel out of the way. And now down the stretch with some of this second time playing these teams, you get them at home, and that's always a benefit.
Well, everybody likes to play at home, Cosmo, and you feel like you have an advantage just because of comfort zone. I think the most interesting thing that you see happen, teams evolve across the season. And the length of the basketball season really mandates some evolution. You just hope you don't devolve,
right?
And some teams do. And one of the interesting things that we try to do is to change, to add new wrinkles, to maybe a new look somewhere along the line, maybe a new defensive little wrinkle in there to change things up. We're all very studious about the game. Everybody has a film on every single game you've played. You get to know people, in terms of their tendencies. And so this evolution process really is an important part of the second round of conference play.
And that's something that we've talked about over the last couple seasons, is Matt Brock, with your assistant, of that extra specialty in the technical side of things. Game film on the guys' phones and iPads and things within minutes of one game ending. The scouting report and the homework begins for that next game. And with the way the scheduling works, a lot of Thursday, Saturday, they're quick turning around, having to study for that next opponent.
We really are into a pattern now, and particularly when we play Thursday, Saturday games, we normally take Sundays off. Your Monday, we really focus on fundamentals and our conditioning, because you do lose conditioning over a week when you're just playing games. Tuesday, we combine our fundamentals with a bit of preparation. Wednesday's all prep, and then you play the game on Thursday. Then you prepare for your Saturday game, and then you start the cycle over. And somebody asked me if you really look at the big picture, and the coach speak is always you just play them one at a time. But to be honest with you, Cosmo, we really look at week segments. What do we have to get done this week? How do we organize our week? And how do we prepare for 2 games at a time? And because that Friday in between is really a compressed time period. So your Monday through your Wednesday, you're really preparing for 2 games.
Getting ready for the schedule. As we mentioned, only a dozen left, and it sounds, on one hand, you think, oh, that's a lot of basketball games, and then as you said, when you start breaking them down, sometimes 3 games a week, with a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at times. Before you know it, it's time to start looking at the bracket and figuring out where the AMC conference lies. I was asked this question, and I explained it as best I could, but with the new additions to teams in the conference now, you will have a regular season winner that will get the automatic bid to the national tournament, and then your tournament winner will also get that spot. What if the teams are the same? Then the runner-up in the championship, or how does that work?
No, it's actually the second place regular season.
Regular season, okay.
And so it really puts the the emphasis on regular season play as opposed to tournament play. You really have 3 opportunities, I think, to make it to national play. Obviously, the first one is to win your regular season, and the second opportunity is through tournament play. It's our conference is really shaped up interesting. I mean, Freed, I think right now is proven that they're the top of the league. I think the rest of us are chasing them right at the moment. And there's a little bit of a kind of a jumble up, I think, in the middle of the conference. Very capable teams, and I think who can withstand this second round and keep themselves in a position to contend will depend on your consistency. And we've been pretty consistent to this point. Hopefully we can continue that.
Jeremy Nolan, Tanner Sutton are a couple guys that have been pretty consistent for you. Same with Wendell. And the injuries to Derek and to Zach Rockers, what are the prognostics on them coming back?
I think Zach's probably finished for the season. He's still in the boot and has been long term, and we've gotten to the point now where he can get a hardship, and it's probably going to pay off for him personally to do that. I think Derek's a little bit closer to being ready. He's out of a cast. It's just time and bone healing. I think both of those injuries have impacted us, and I was really thinking about it across our athletic department, Cosmo, that this year seems to be the year of the impact injuries. I mean, you always have injuries, during a season. Sometimes you get lucky and you kind of make it through, but we've really had some impactful injuries to key players all across the department this year. And hopefully we can get Derek back and get him going for the stretch run.
Stretch run, get everybody healthy and back. The Cougars at home, and then a couple February jam-packed, the full schedule of when the Cougars are at home, both men and women. A lot of doubleheaders with the conference play at Southwell Complex. So if you have an opportunity to come out and watch some Cougar basketball on the website, ColumbiaCougars.com. Quickly, when we come back, I want to talk about a couple of the other sports and pick your brain as the athletic director at Columbia College. And we'll be back with Bob Burchard right after this on MediaCom Channel 22.